Hey everybody, Tony Katz here for On the Bay. We're at Riley's Farm, which is a 760-acre apple farm in Oak Glen, California, and it's where Colony Bay Productions decided to tape the first 2 episodes of their new dramatic series, Courage, New Hampshire, which is basically colonial America before the Revolution. Now, On the Bay is really a way for the actors and the writers and the directors to have a more casual and direct conversation with you about the themes that you'll be seeing on Courage, New Hampshire. Now, those themes: love, honor, bravery, community, loyalty, hard work. It's really this conversation about the American experiment. It's kind of where we've been and where we're going. Now, all of this will make a lot more sense if you see episode 1, The Travails of Sarah Pine. And you can get that at colonybay.net. You can actually stream it for $2.95, or you can buy the DVD. As a matter of fact, there are a whole bunch of options of things you can get from Colony Bay to really make the experience of Courage, New Hampshire very real for you and your family. A great, great first episode. We have actors Nathan Kershaw and Lorrain Pope here. They're the stars of episode 1. So kick back, relax, enjoy. You're in for a great time. Hey everybody, Tony Katz here at Riley's Farm, where they film, of course, Courage, New Hampshire, joined by the star of Courage, New Hampshire, episode 1, Bob Weedle himself, Nathan Kershaw. Sir,
nice to meet you.
How you doing? And to your health. To your health. By the way, this is, how are you?
I'm very good.
You know, you're a little bit of typecasting, being from England. Where are you from? How do you get to the States? How do you become an actor in the States?
I'm originally from Manchester in England, which is usually where nobody goes, because a lot of people go to England and think there's only London.
Right.
But Manchester's a bit further up. That's where I'm from. Rains a lot. So started acting when I was about 16. Liked it, you know, and kind of got in and out of the business in England. But I was always a fan of American TV. And I liked the speed of it, and I liked the humour and the comedy. And then I saw some American actors audition, and I thought, they're really good. I consider them to be better than English people I've seen audition, so I'm going to go over there and do a class and see if I can get that good. So came over, did the class, and then happened to be in a gas station in Beverly Hills, looked across the forecourt, saw a beautiful woman filling her car up with gas, went over, said hello, had a date, and got married a year later.
You get to be a part of Courage, New Hampshire. You think of all the things Hollywood and when people come here to be actors, but here you are on Riley's Farm. What was that like for you, your first time coming out to Oak Glen?
It was so nice because it's very different than LA. You know, it's a couple of hours outside LA, and you get here and it's beautiful and it's picturesque. But what really struck me was the ensemble production of, you know, Courage, New Hampshire. I had no idea what to expect just walking onto the set the first day. You know, getting here, yes, it's beautiful, but what I need to see is what's actually going on set and what people like and how good they are, basically. And I've got to admit, it was such a pleasant surprise, and the whole process has just been a revelation of just great things.
A period piece, it's not something you see every day from Hollywood, and James Riley, Jonathan Wilson, very, very keen on sticking to the period. Tell me about your character, Sergeant Bob Weedle, and what he's like, what his arc is in this first episode.
Well, Bob Weedle is a king's man, and so came over here with ideas, values, morals, which were all good, you know, which were basically good, but hadn't really seen anything else, so came to these shores, and in carrying out his duties, he happened upon Courage, and his heart was opened when he saw, you know, Sarah Pine, and that started him on a journey that he didn't have any control over. He met her, and it started something within him. He then went back to his work, and then was struggling, you know, with what was going on, what he believed, you know.
Right.
And in coming back a time later, he'd seen what he could become, you know. And that is what happens in the first episode. He's fighting with so many things.
One of the things that seems to be a struggle for Bob Weedle, and one of the real arcs of the first episode is this concept of loyalty. You have Bob Wheatle and whether or not he's going to be loyal to this woman, Sarah Pine, which has a child, and he first doesn't accept any kind of relationship or ownership of the child. And then, as a part two, the concept of loyalty to his own troops, to his fellow soldiers. You're playing this character. Did you feel that was a struggle for him, how to be loyal, or how his loyalty was tested in both cases?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's his pivotal thing. Although he is loyal to his soldiers, his main loyalty was obviously to his king. Yeah, because the king had been so good for him. The king had brought him from nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, he was, as we say in England, he's a bad one. You know, he was a bad one when he was a kid. And the king took him under his wing and showed him everything and brought him up and gave him these values. But then things started to happen when the British were over here. Things started to happen which he questioned, you know, genuinely himself. He saw other ways of life. He saw Sarah, so that threw him into this turmoil.
Now people who are part of the Colony Bay family, and more people going to colonybay.net, what are they in store for within this whole series? What is it that you would say to them about why they should be part of this family?
What you get to see is things that are historically accurate and factually accurate, but you're also getting to see what the real people went through, you know, not the hierarchy and all that kind of stuff, but the real people who are working the land, how rules and laws affected them, you know, and what they did and what they needed to do to survive on a day-to-day basis, and how, you know, they progressed, how America progressed at that time.
Nathan Kershaw, Sergeant Bob Wheatle in Colony Bay's Courage, New Hampshire. Be sure to get it now. Young man, cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you.
Molly Pine from Courage, New Hampshire. Lorrain Pope, how are you?
Hi, well, thanks. How are you?
How's your drink?
My drink is fantastic.
So let's talk about your character. Is Molly mean, angry, bitter, or just no nonsense?
I would say a combination of all of those. I would say no nonsense for sure, a little bitter, stressed out,
okay,
upset that Mr. Wheatle doesn't do the right thing. So yeah, a lot of those.
So in Courage, New Hampshire, what is her job? Like what is she all about?
She runs the farm. She is the Pine Farm, which is where all of this takes place, on the Pine Farm. She's very in the community of Courage. Back then, for a woman to become pregnant and the man not to take responsibility for that, it was a big deal. So our name, of course, would be looked down upon if that were to happen, as it did.
And Molly Pine is the aunt of Sarah Pine,
exactly.
The Travails of Sarah Pine, which is episode 1. As you're watching that story, and we spoke with Nathan Kershaw, who plays Sergeant Bob Wheatle, who you in the show despise. Yes. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Was there anything about that story where you could see his conflict, or for you, is it a much more cut and dry situation?
It's cut and dry.
Really?
Absolutely. And I think from any woman's perspective, that sort of thing is cut and dry.
One of the really interesting themes of this show is Bob Wheatle's struggle in trying to decide where that loyalty lies. And we've been talking a lot about loyalty. It comes through the show repeatedly. What does Molly Pine think of the concept of loyalty?
That's my niece. As Molly Pine, that's my niece. That's my flesh and blood. That's who I protect. That's who I am here to fight for, is our honor of our family. So there is no question of loyalty to that when you have a bond of a child. There should be no question.
What is it that you hope people get from this show? I mean, it's the period piece. Think of the subjects that are being discussed and how they relate to modern day. Is there something that you hope people get out of Courage, New Hampshire?
Probably a history lesson, a little bit of moral values. Just to enjoy a good dramatic piece, I think, is always fun to watch. So I think that's...
Tell me about you. When did you start acting, and how did you come to the set here? How did you get to being part of Courage, New Hampshire?
Well, that's a long journey.
Okay, give me the Reader's Digest.
Basically, I am from New York, so I studied in New York City. Loved acting, was there for 8 years, moved out here for another 8 years. I've done a lot of little things, auditioned like a lot of other people.
Right.
They cast me, and here I am.
When you got selected to do this, and you come out to Riley's Farm, and this is, I mean, look around you. This is not the normal setting. This is no production stage.
Yeah.
What was it like for you the first time getting to Oak Glen and seeing Riley's Farm?
It was surreal because every project you work on, everything that you book as an actor, you never know what you're in for.
Right.
So when you do book something, you just try to revel in whatever comes because you're working. So that's really the joy of it. Just the drive up here was beautiful, and then coming here was surreal. It's like a little mini vacation again.
Everybody, it's been an unbelievable day here on the Bay. Don't forget to go to colonybay.net and get everything that you need for Courage, New Hampshire. It's right here, by the way. Our stars, Lorrain Pope, Nathan, what was it, Kershaw? Kershaw. There we go. We got that perfect. You got to get the first episode, The Travails of Sarah Pine. You can download it at colonybay.net. Of course, you can buy the DVD. As a matter of fact, there are a whole bunch of things you can get at colonybay.net. Go do it, and make sure you get out to Riley's Farm as soon as humanly possible. It's an unbelievable experience for you, for the family, for the ones you love. For Lorrain Pope, who, by the way, fantastic job. Nathan Kershaw, everyone here at Riley's Farm and Colony Bay. I'm Tony Katz. We'll see you next time on the Bay. Mr. Bost, take us home. See you guys.